Now, the Three Martini Lunch with Greg Corombos and Jim Garrity.
Well, the Jim Garrity part is here, but with National Review Online. But I am Rich McFadden with Radio America here today with Jim for your Three Martini Lunch. Greg will be back with us next week. Until then, we've got a couple of doozies, three of them, as a matter of fact, for your lunch today. Starting out with our good martini, as we always do, Jim. Insurance companies finding Obamacare is not such a good deal for them. What's going on?
No, and I'm sure our heart bleeds for all those poor insurance companies.
So bad for them.
Obviously, most folks on the right prefer to see a thriving private sector, but report of the Washington Examiner that insurers learned late Thursday they'll receive just $362 million out of the $2.9 billion they had requested for under Obamacare in 2014, because Obamacare, quote, hasn't brought in nearly as much money as it needs to pay out. Unsurprisingly, the health insurance plans are very upset about this. Those of us who are the consumers of health insurance plans and not in the business probably are going to be saying that this will have some bad effects on us. It looks like more premium hikes and all of that. But having said that, Rich, I don't know about you. I can't say, well, gee, guys, maybe you shouldn't sign on for the government taking over 1/6 of the entire economy.
Yeah.
Or whatever fraction healthcare is. Lots of people were saying Obamacare was a bad idea from 2008 to 2010. And the insurance company said, no, it's fine. We're going to get a whole bunch of new customers. It's going to be awesome. And lo and behold, it's not awesome. So if you can find, it might be under your desk, Rich, the world's smallest violin, and start playing it.
Well, let me tell you something. If I'm playing a violin, it's for me, because if you've seen my rates and everybody here at the network's rates and what it's done to their insurance, it is a pitiful, pitiful thing that they've done here. And all I can hope is that it gets so bad that something has to be done to overturn it.
Yeah, again, like on the one hand, we should want health insurance companies to be healthy, no pun intended, thriving, financially solid, able to cover the costs for those who really find themselves with deep trouble, and everybody else having reasonable and manageable premiums and co-pays and deductibles and things like that. That has not happened under Obamacare.
Not even close.
These guys had a seat at the table the whole time. And for them to start complaining now is a little late in the game.
That's what I don't understand, is the insurance companies were basically partners in writing all of these laws. And how is it that they stuck it to themselves so badly?
Well, to paraphrase Animal House, you fouled up. You trusted us. That's what they're saying is what the Obama administration is saying to the health insurance companies. If only someone had warned them. If only somebody at that time had said that all statements from Barack Obama come with an expiration date, all of them. But hey, everyone thought Obama was great back in 2009, so there's nothing to be done. On to the next martini, Rich.
The bad martini of the day is a very bad martini, and this is a little bit scary as well. It looks like ISIS is now using chemical weapons in Iraq as well as Syria.
Yeah, this is something that I periodically try to spotlight in the corner and Morning Jolt. And on the one hand, look, it's the most horrible, scary, stomach-turning, kinds of stories you could take a look at. Credit to the New York Times; they had a front-page story on this yesterday about what it's like to be under an attack under chemical weapons in Syria. Well, it's now spreading. We now have an attack in Iraq, the Kurdish Peshmerga. This is a semi-autonomous region of Iraq. They said that blood samples taken from around 35 fighters who were exposed in an attack southwest of the regional capital, Erbil, showed signatures of sulfur mustard. This is a really unpleasant material, blisters, and that. Earlier in the year, ISIS was accused of using weaponized chlorine. Basically, it's really horrible, and it's perhaps a bit of historical irony. The Kurds were a victim of probably the last really large-scale chemical weapons attack back in 1988 under Saddam Hussein in the city of Halabja.
Wow.
Short version, I just spotlight this to observe that there was a time when using chemical weapons was considered unthinkable. I'm sure you remember the red line, Rich.
Yeah.
And here we are again, and it seems becoming almost more common with time.
Well, when you get armies that you're fighting that live in the shadows, they don't have any repercussions, so they do whatever they want, and that's what we're seeing here, unfortunately.
Yeah, so we spotlight this just to say, hey, as
It's
much
important.
even if the news doesn't always talk about it, this is going on, and U.S. policy should have this in mind. So.
Absolutely. We try to have a little fun and get silly with some of these things, but this one is very important and needs to be spotlighted, so thank you. For our last Martini of the day, the crazy one, which is usually the fun one, is looks like the EPA is getting some new furniture for their digs.
Yes. Over the past decade, the EPA has spent a mere $92.4 million to purchase, rent, install, and store office furniture, including fancy hickory chairs. And by the way, hickory chairs aren't those aren't biodegradable, right? That's not recyclable.
Yes.
It's the EPA we're talking about. A drawer to store pencils that cost $813.57. Rich, we're in the wrong business.
So this is the new $900 hammer and $2,000 toilet is the $900 pencil holder, right?
You got it. And I was gonna say, at least that hammer, you're hoping for like Thor, Mjolnir or something like that, a really awesome hammer or something. Like
and
that.
I wonder what kind of pencils they're putting in a $900 pencil holder.
Yeah. They're made of gold, apparently. No. The calculation of the government watchdog OpenTheBooks.com found that these shopping sprees of the furniture equaled about $6,000 for every one of the agency's 15,492 employees.
And, of course, is anybody being held to task for this, or will it just be kind of scrubbed under the rug?
Oh, look, we don't fire people for leaving the Office of Personnel Management open to Chinese hackers.
Well, you know what we should do?
Spending a lot of money on furniture, that's nothing in the federal government.
We should send a link to this podcast to the people that the environmentalist crazies and let them know that they're cutting down cedar and oak and all kinds of precious wood trees to make $2,000 desks in the EPA offices. That will get somebody picketing outside. Problem solved.
As I said, at the very least, it kind of illustrates, if these guys really believe the environment's in a crisis, you think they'd be, a little more frugal with their furniture purchases.
Cardboard desks. That's what they need. All right. Well, there's your third and final martini of the day for this Thursday. We're back tomorrow, Friday, for our 3 martini lunch. See you here again, drink in hand. He's Jim Garrity with the National Review, and I'm Rich McFadden with Radio America.